All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to online learning. And today we're going to actually be trying to look at some of the things that I've been trying to show y'all. We're going to be using Photopea. I cannot get my school desktop to work. It's just basically broken. And so I'm going to be showing you on my iPad, but it should work pretty similarly. I know that several of you have been having issues with Photopea in your Chromebooks. And all I can tell you to do is, for the time being, to try your absolute best. If you're having issues, send me an email, let me know what's going on, but go ahead and submit your assignments. Do as much of them as you can and get them submitted. And I will give you credit for trying, but I need you to communicate with me what's going on. And so we can kind of try to resolve that. So I'm gonna try to walk through what I'm doing, and hopefully we will be able to make some progress today together. So I'm going to be working in Photopea, and I'm going to start with the assignment from yesterday with removing the girl from the photo of the couple of people on the mountain. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Photopea on my browser, photopea.com. I'm going to just refresh it really quickly because sometimes it gets bogged down, and I'm going to go to File, Open, and I'm gonna actually browse. This is my iPad, so it looks a little bit different. Here's my photo right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and open it. So here is my image, and what I'm gonna do today for you guys is, so many of you have been having issues with the clone stamp. I'm gonna try to show you another way to do this. I haven't tried it yet on the iPad, so we'll see if it works. So here we have our image of the couple, and we want to remove the girl. And so what I want you guys to do today is, what I wanted you to do yesterday was use the clone stamp tool. So the clone stamp tool is right here. Looks like a stamp. You use the Alt option button to sample an area. So I'm gonna sample right here, and I'm gonna just start to paint, and you can see that it's painting, but my cursor is really small. So I'm gonna use my bracket key and make my paintbrush bigger. And here we go. And I'm just able to just like wipe this lady completely out. It helps to, you can see it kind of messed up right there. So I'm gonna start this over. It helps to move in the direction that you're going, not to cross over what you're doing. So I'm gonna option click again up here. Or if you're using a Chromebook, it's Alt click, not option click, Alt click. So I'm gonna Alt click, it's option click for me. And I'm just gonna come up here and erase. Oh, but I have to remember not to go across what I'm erasing. So I'm just gonna keep moving up, and I'm gonna come back over here, and I keep getting text messages from my wife. Just ignore those. I'm gonna come back over here, and I'm just gonna keep working to erase this lady, and this looks pretty okay. And again, I'm using the clone stamp tool, and you have to constantly kind of reposition where your cursor is. And this is okay. This is honestly not my best work. It's not gonna be your best work either. And I don't expect it to be, because the clone stamp tool on Photopea is not as accurate and not as good. When we get up here to the arm, we just have to be very careful, and we're just gonna erase it and try to get it to where it's shaped like his arm. I'm gonna do the same thing up here. I'm just gonna try to erase very carefully and leave the space of what is his arm. Oops, I got a little bit too much. So I'm gonna Command or Control Z on a Chromebook and undo that. And I'm just gonna come in here and get as close as I can. And so I can almost cheat and kind of leave it like that. And if you did, that would be okay. If you turned in an assignment that looks like this, I'm gonna be happy with it. I'm not gonna be upset, it will be fine. Let's go all the way back. And I'm gonna try to show you guys a different way to do this. If you come up here to the Lasso tool, Lasso select, the lasso is this little, it almost looks like the letter Q, but it's supposed to represent a lasso. So I'm just gonna draw around this lady as much as I can. And so here we go, drawing around her. I'm gonna come up to the top where it says edit, and I'm gonna go to fill, and then it's gonna ask me how I want to fill. So edit, fill, and then it's gonna ask me how, and I'm gonna do content aware. So edit, fill, and then I'm gonna change it to content aware fill, and leave the rest of it the same and hit okay, and let's see what it does. Maybe, I gotta see if it's not letting me click it. Oh no. Okay, oh, there it goes. And it kind of, well, I don't know what it did. It's a hideous monstrosity. So I don't know if that's a better way to do it on this assignment. It works on some things, it doesn't work on others. So this is why I wanted to teach you the clone stamp first. There's actually several tools. There's also a spot healing tool. There's the clone stamp tool, and then there's this lasso and fill tool. And they all work well in different situations. So it's very, very important that you kind of know how to use all of them so that you're aware of when to use which tool. So that being said, if we go back and you just turn in the image that you did where you clone stamped it, perfect, awesome, amazing, turn that in. It doesn't have to be a beautiful work. I just want to see that you're able to use the clone stamp tool. Again, alt click to sample on the clone stamp tool, alt click to sample, and then click and draw to kind of color it in. And I'm gonna go ahead and close this one, and I'm gonna hit okay. And I'm gonna refresh the page just in case, because sometimes it's kind of laggy. And I'm gonna come up here to file, and I'm gonna go back to open, and I have to open this out of my photo library. So I saved it to my photo library. So here's our balloons image. Today's assignment, Wednesday's assignment, is this balloon image in Photopea. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use the lasso tool to get rid of it. If you feel more comfortable using the clone stamp, or you wanna try practicing the clone stamp, that's perfectly okay. But I'm gonna use the lasso tool. And the assignment is to leave this balloon on the far left. It's got the red stripes and the yellow at the bottom. And we're gonna try to remove every other balloon, and then we're gonna add a text layer. So I'm just gonna trace around this right here. And I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. Edit, then down to fill. And I'm gonna change it from foreground to content aware. And then I'm gonna hit okay. And hit it once and just wait, because it's actually taking a while to run. So hit it once and wait. And there we go, it's gone. And you're gonna hit Control D to deselect. So your little dotted lines, if you have little dotted lines showing up, you have to deselect. So hit Control D to deselect. Or you can go up to select and deselect. And so going back, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna trace around every one of these balloons. It doesn't have to be perfect. As you can see, that's not perfect at all. That's awful. And content aware, and I'm gonna hit okay. And well, you know, it did not do what it was supposed to do. It copied these others. So I'm gonna Control Z. I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna Control D to deselect. And I'm actually gonna click this one, and I'm going to get rid of this balloon first. So edit, fill, content aware, okay. Let's hope it just fills it in with sky. It did. Control D, and now I'm gonna circle this red one. Oh, I got a little bit crazy on that. And now I'm going to go to edit, fill, content aware, hit okay. Just wait, there we go. Control D to deselect. And now we have all of these little bitty balloons. And so what you have to do here is, by the way, I zoomed in by hitting Control plus, Control minus zooms out, Control plus zooms in, Control minus moves out. And if you hold down your space bar, when any tool is selected, hold your space bar down and click, and you can drag the image around as much as you want. So I'm just gonna really quickly, you can just draw around each of these tools, each of these balloons, and we're just gonna content aware fill every one of them. This is going to take you a little bit of time. I'm not gonna spend the entire time I'm videoing doing this, because it's just gonna take forever. You can see this does a really good job, and that's what we want, is this really great job. But sometimes it messes up, and you do have to use the clone stamp to make it happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this last one, and I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna zoom back out. From here, we want to add a text layer. So I'm gonna come over here to the T, the letter T, and we're gonna add a new layer, and it's gonna be text. So I'm gonna click my letter T, and I'm just gonna click right here. And as you can see, it is very, very small. So I'm gonna double click, and we want to make this bigger. So I'm gonna come up to the top where it says size, and I'm just gonna increase the size. Okay, this is looking pretty good. So remember, our end goal is this is gonna be an advertisement, so the text needs to be readable. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it to 73rd Annual Hot Air Balloon Show. And you can see this needs to be moved over. So I'm gonna come up here to the top to my select tool and I'm gonna move it over. I'm gonna get that position. I'm gonna come back to my text tool down here, the letter T, get my cursor, I'm gonna click, and I want to change the color maybe to white. So I'm gonna click up here in my little color window. It's just, right now mine's a black square. I'm gonna change my color picker to white and hit OK. And now it looks white. And I can kind of keep typing. I'm gonna hit return and I'm gonna type Saturday, November 7th, Ben Gill Park. And this looks great. If you want to turn this in, that is awesome. I will take it, get a great grade. Perfect. If you want to go a little bit further and make it look a little bit nicer, you can change the font up, change the style, do some fun things with it. I'm going to change the alignment to right aligned. I'm going to change some of the sizes so that important details stick out, like Ben Gill Park. I'm going to go ahead and just make that bigger. I'm gonna actually try to make it even bigger by typing 200 in here, and there we go. I'm gonna move this up a little bit, and there's just a lot of different things you can do with this. Play around with it, make it look really great. Turn it in, that's all you have to do. Should be pretty easy for Photopea. The one thing you need to remember is if you're messing up and gonna start over, hit refresh at the top, and that way it will kind of reset what you're doing. I hope that answers all of your questions. I know some of you have been having some pretty bad trouble. If you're still struggling or if your Chromebook is messing up, try to do a screenshot or use your phone and take a video and email it to me at william.brown@terrellisd.org, and I'm gonna try to look at those, work through those, and figure out what's going on. I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday, and I will see you and talk with you soon.